Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. So in this video, I'm going to show you all of the steps you'll need to take to turn your Ruby's Han Solo blaster into this, really cool display piece or costume piece. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to be doing is just try and remove any surface imperfections that are on this piece. Obviously, this is like a cheaply made Halloween prop, so it's not perfect. The main things we're going to be taking off are these manufacturing marks here and here, and then there's one other thing that I wanted to remove right here. It's just a rough spot, I think, where they clipped it from the mold. Other than that, there's nothing else that I saw, but you'll definitely, when you do this for yourself, want to just kind of look the piece over and see if there's anything that you kind of want to get rid of. I'll be using 220 and 400 grit. In my experience, this is more than enough. This cheap plastic should just melt away like butter when you hit it. So let me come back to you whenever I've got that removed. Alright guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and removed those manufacturing marks. They're nice and smooth now. And I also removed this blemish up here, and I ended up finding another logo that I removed on the other side. So the next step that we're going to be doing is drilling out these holes, the little vent holes on the muzzle here. And I also want to take this time to mention that you could fill these screw holes with some plumber's epoxy or body filler like Bondo. I don't have any of that on hand, and I'd like to get this done fairly quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over that. But you could do that if you wanted to. And now what I'm going to be using to drill out these holes, just a Dremel. And I shouldn't have to mention this, but I'm going to anyway. I will be wearing hearing protection and eye protection, of course, so that I don't get stuff thrown back into my eyes. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as you can see, I've drilled out all of the holes now. The next step is going to be to remove this little salt and pepper shaker thing from the front. I tried to do it on camera, but it was just a little bit too fiddly to do through the rangefinder. But all I did was got an X-Acto knife, wedged it in the corner, and just popped it out. It's a separate piece and it's barely held in there at all, so it's pretty easy to do. Now all I'm going to be doing is just kind of cleaning up the holes with a little bit of sandpaper and kind of just evening them out if I need to. It looks pretty good, but I'm going to get rid of some blemishes like this over here. So I'll cut back to you whenever I've done that. Okay, as you can see, I've sanded the muzzle area smooth, and next is my favorite part, and that is painting. So the first coat that we're going to be doing is black. I just bought some cheap flat black spray paint. You can get that for like 99 cents at Walmart. And I've also removed the grips. And I don't really care about this working and making sounds when I'm done. So I removed the battery tray on this side and just popped the grip off on this side. And the reason I did that is because I don't want any white or orange peeking through from the original colors. So I want to make sure that I can cover everywhere that I can. So obviously, since I'm spray painting, I'm in my garage and my garage door is open, so it's nice and ventilated. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing I should mention too is you always want to make sure to do several light coats You never want to just spray, you know, a huge gob of paint on at first. So just kind of keep that in mind. Alright, it's several hours later and I've got a nice even coat of black spray paint over the entire blaster. And so now what I've done is I've masked off all of the areas that I want to remain black for now, and I've just left the areas that are going to be spray painted brown. So as you can see here, I've used blue painter's tape to mark off the areas, and then I'm just going to be doing the same thing, several light coats of brown spray paint. And I'll show you, this is the one that I'm using. This is really nice spray paint. You don't necessarily have to get this, I just had it. So that's why I'm going to be using it. So let's go ahead and show you how that's done. Okay, it's the next day and I've allowed the handle time to dry, and I've removed all the masking and added the masking back, covering everything that won't be silver. So basically just the tip here. And what I'm going to be doing is spraying it with this. It's just some metallic spray paint. So pretty much the same as what we've been doing before. I'll go ahead and show you. Alright, I've done several coats of silver spray paint on this front piece here. And now that it's dry, I'm going to start doing some weathering to it. So what I'm going to be doing is taking the same black spray paint that I used before, and I'm going to be spraying directly at the front. I'll show you that. And kind of the idea with this is to make it look like the muzzle area is a little like scorched from the laser fire, because I don't want this to look like it's brand new. I suppose if you did want it to look like that, you don't have to do this step, but I want it to look like it's been you know, well used. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So as you can see, I'm leaving the front tip area up in the air, and what I'm going to be doing is standing a fair way back from the piece and then spraying directly at the tip. Let's see. And so the idea with that is to not cover all of it. As you can see, most of the paint went on the inside there and not as much went onto the sides. So if you want it to be, you know, a little bit more weathered, again, standing way back from the piece. And I'm hitting it from the bottom as well. I'm going to do a couple more. Alright, I'm liking the way that looks. And let me bring it closer to the camera so you can kind of see it again. So there's a little bit of a gradient. Obviously the inside's black, and then there's a little bit of a gradient between the very tip and the back here, which is almost perfectly silver. Alright, as you can see, the silver paint has dried and I've removed all of the masking. So now what we're going to be doing is adding some details and doing a little bit of weathering. So I've grabbed a couple paint brushes, a little scrap of paper, and then I've sprayed some of the silver spray paint into a cup so that I can paint it on with a brush. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is painting in this little circle here. I didn't mask this and spray it just because, you know, obviously it's a circle, so it's a little hard to mask it. And it's also a little close to these vents here, so it's a little bit hard to mask that off. So I'll go ahead and paint this, and then we'll talk about how to do the weathering. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is weathering. And for this, just go ahead and grab your paper. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is making it appear as if it's been used before. But also what we're going to be doing is kind of covering up some mistakes that we've made. So up here, I accidentally forgot to mask this little portion here. And as you can see, there's a little bit of silver overspray there. So what I'm going to be doing is grabbing paintbrush kind of like this with nice stiff bristles. These are pretty stiff. And getting that same silver paint. And then I'm going to be dabbing it where there's almost no paint left on the brush. And then I'm going to just dab. Please make sure this is in frame. Just dab in that area. And kind of what we want is to make it, you know, appear as if the you know, paint or whatever is scratched off and is now revealing the metal underneath. And as you can see, I've pretty much disguised that section, which used to be overspray, now just, you know, looks like detail. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this side of the whole piece. One thing you wanna keep in mind is this is another thing that you don't wanna do too much. Because it can look overdone. And you don't want to cover everything, you know, completely solid. You want there to be some areas where there's still paint, basically, because obviously Han Solo's blaster is black. You don't want it to be completely silver now. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is hitting the high spots. So, like, you know, something like right here. That's an area where I imagine, you know, it would get kind of clunked around. And you know, some of the paint would scratch off. So let me go ahead and do this for the entire piece. All right, now that the all the weathering is done and it's all had time to dry, we're gonna go ahead and do the last step. And that's just a flat clear coat over the entire thing, just to protect the paint job from being handled. This is what I'm using. This is just, again, just a can that I had on hand. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. This is just like all of the other spray paints, nice even coats. Okay guys, here it is, the finished Han Solo blaster. All of the clear coat has dried and all of the weathering is done, and honestly I could not be happier. I'm really impressed with how everything turned out. Obviously the Ruby's costume Han Solo blaster is a really cheap costume piece, and I think with this paint job, it turns it into something that could potentially be even displayed, which I think is really cool. So I really had a lot of fun making this video. So if you guys actually make one of these, and paint it up yourself, let me know. I'd love to see it. And if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comment section below. And I guess I'll see you guys later.